What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome to episode 26 of Death Note. I have zero idea where we're going to go from here. If I had to make a guess, I'm going to assume we're just going to continue along with Light doing whatever he needs to do for his next step, but something's going to come up where another user of the Death Note or some other power is going to kind of come into place, and then we're going to have to go against that to continue on the story, but don't really know if that's actually going to be the case. I'd also be surprised to see just the route that they decide to go. Will it be immediate aftermath, I guess, in a way of what just happened? Is it going to time skip a bit to show you the damage that he's done or the progress that he's made? How exactly will this situation kind of play out? And I'm curious just the way that they're going to go and how they plan to continue on the series after the main portion seems to have ended here. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion and leave any comments about this episode or this series, but let's get going. Episode 26. This is just gonna be like recap of what happened. There's no way the whole episode's like that, right? Even on top of the stuff that we deleted? Means I'm gone. The pain. Secret funeral. He didn't have any family outside Otari. Oh. So that's what we were seeing with him and Elle at the beginning of the last episode. So continue the play, acting as though we are him. Of course, that's only natural that you're the one who does it. You're the only one who understood him the way. Yep. You're very, very similar. This is exactly what he wanted, though. Yeah, you know what? You're probably going to be right. It probably won't be any fun without him. But how does he play this off? Like, he knows. Like I'm just gonna be everybody. I'll control everything on my own, actually. No, I might as well be the one who does that, right? We trust Light. Oh. Yeah, almost like you were volunteering there. Bro's gonna manipulate his dad so hard, isn't he? He's just gonna start killing people like that. All the sus is gonna go after his dad. You miss your friend? Yeah, well, the result of your actions. You did this. Ryuk. Oh, because she has the eyes and everything still. So he's gonna use her like crazy. You piece of shit. I guess, yeah. Yeah, well, that's why we gotta introduce something. Oh, what's your plan? Okay. The usual. Oh. And the killings begin. A man on a fucking mission right about now. Everyone gone, dude. Bro, what is gonna be left by the time he finishes? Oh no! He was so cool! The Yotsuba guys. Oh no, dude. There's so much for only worrying about all the criminals and everything, right? Now we just say fuck it and kill everyone. Age 23, so did we time skip? Mm. But why would be my question. He becomes his own. Wasn't this a computer L was using before? Did he have a timer? This is the orphanage, yeah. Huh. Roger. Huh. Huh. Transition episode for sure. Like absolutely was. With the entirety of the first half being recap. So I'm realistically just gonna I actually, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't even watch it. I just kept skipping through it until I realized we were getting new stuff. So there's no reaction for that portion. So this video is gonna wind up being short. Regardless, we are in our transition phase, exactly what happens after L passes and the next step and things that we kind of do. So it appears Light continues on with the investigation in a way as if he is L himself, and he's kind of by creating like this fake thing so that he can use his voice in a way and just all this other stuff. And then he's also posing as Watari and everybody else that was involved so that the investigation can continue, because everybody else involved still believes the cure is out there, and he's trying to have his name cleared a bit by not being in the spotlight so much and not looking like he's the one who's actively doing all the killing and like everything else that's going on, right? So posing as L and being the head man in charge, of course nobody else on the inside is probably ever going to really suspect him for what's going on. As he continues, it appears for a long time now. I don't know when the initial show was beginning, but we're now in 2012, which they skipped forward a bit, I believe that means. So we probably skipped a few years, because they said Light's 23, and before, I think he was like just starting university when we saw him before. So we probably skipped like 4 or 5 years. And he now works with the police academy, of course, because he has to be on the inside and being part of the task force or whatever, right? Because all that does is clear his innocence even more, and less suspicion on him. But in the meantime, he's been absolutely just killing off plenty of people, which is disgusting for him to do. And it appears he's no longer just abiding by the initial plans of, oh, these people did bad things, I'm going to get rid of them. Well, some of them probably did. Like the Yotsuba guys, I'm assuming still were all bad people at the end of the day. Reasons for getting rid of them, are they just people who he thinks could pose threats to him at some sort of point, or what is his other reason for it? I don't really know, and it's just kind of sucky that he's doing that, but I completely guess I understand, because this is what he wants to do, and he's setting out to become this god, which is ultimately working, because we're seeing at the end everybody else is like beyond interested, beginning to like really fear him and wanting to worship him in a way, or do the things in which he wants to kind of stay on his good side, because they know that they can be killed in any sort of instant. And for whatever reason, it seems like other countries and other, just like a lot of people are kind of growing to like him in a way, in the way that he does things. So I'm not picking up on why they would, or what's so good about this that they would, because he's kind of fucked up in the head for doing that. We also see the thing he moves in with Misa, or he convinces her to. I'm assuming that's specifically just because she has the eyes and he's going to continue to use her like the piece of shit that he's kind of been. Is what it is. It sucks that she continuously still blindly follows him, but we move. It doesn't matter that much. She thinks she's getting something good out of this deal, so I guess that's enough justification for why she's doing it. And then at the end, we flash forward a little bit and see what appears to be the same orphanage or whatever it was that we saw Watari with L like at the beginning of last episode, and it appears to have another older dude who looks very similar to Watari. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding that. Maybe it's like a older person, or maybe Watari wasn't the person that we saw last week and it was this guy instead, and now he's just older. But somebody who runs this place, it appears, L set up like some sort of message, it appears, or some sort of thing on like his computer that was at this day and at this time would send out this message. And I'm assuming that's if he never kind of went over and shut it off or delayed it or like did something. So if a certain amount of time passed without his interacting with this thing at all in some sort of way, it would just assume that he's dead and send out a mass message, or at least just to one other guy, which we see that claims that he ended up dying, which I believe now we show 2 other people at the end, and I'm believing that sets them in motion in a way for them to kind of go out of their way and find Kira and continue onwards of what Elle was trying to do, which is interesting because I do wonder now if this place is just filled with people who are like these superhumans in some sort of way, like they develop them in some sort of way that allows that to happen, or if there's like really anything like that can kind of go on, or if these are just guys who also want to help and knew Elle in some sort of way, and it's now their chance to kind of grow up and do what they need to. I'll be interested to see kind of the route we go, but I think we're going to end up following these guys now in their attempts to find light or work with the light in some sort of way and trying to get to the bottom of it and stop him ultimately from the things that he's trying to do. So if that's the case, it does seem like we might not actually get another thing with another user and all that stuff, which I was thinking before. So that'd be more interesting, and I think I'd rather go that route. But at the same time, if we are just going to go guys who are very similar to Elle in a way, who probably are less superior than him, why would we get rid of Elle in the first place if this is the route that we're going to go? It just doesn't make much sense to me, but we'll have to see a bit more because we really don't know anything about them or what their goals are or anything or what they're capable of. So we have to wait and see that. But if that's the case, they just feel like more of like a cheap version of it, more of like a copy paste that doesn't work as well, right? Like it just, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I am intrigued as to the direction that they're going to kind of go. That's going to be all for me, though. There wasn't as much this episode to really go off of. If you liked it, I'll hit the like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos in the channel. Leave me any comments about this episode or this series. I'll be back for episode 27 soon. You guys have a good one, though. See ya.